If you're wanting to get into entrepreneurship and you don't want to work, I don't know what you're thinking, but you might as well just quit now because anything amazing in life takes so much work and it takes grit and hustle. And that's really how we built our business for the first 3 years. We literally created multiple six figures without any paid advertising.
This is The Fighting Entrepreneur, the podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs looking to change the world. Learn how to start, build, and scale a business in today's highly competitive business environment. Here's your host, The Fighting Entrepreneur, Anik Singhal.
What's up, you crazy fighting entrepreneurs? Welcome back to another episode of The Fighting Entrepreneur. It's your favorite person in the world, Anik Singhal, and I am excited to bring this episode to you today because it is yet another topic that I am so weak at, self-admitting, right? That's what I love to do with these podcasts. I love to bring experts on who just know so much more than me on certain topics. It's a great opportunity for me to learn, and that means I ask much better questions because I'm trying to learn, and then you get to listen in, and you get to learn as well. So thanks for being back. Today's topic, the exact title is How to Get Clients and Sales from a Highly Engaged Facebook Group. Now here's the deal. I have lots of Facebook groups, but they're not highly engaged because, for me, Facebook groups have been kind of like a blog where you get really excited about it for about 6 days. You launch it, you're really good the first 6 days, and then life gets in the way and you fall off. And, like with anything in the world of getting free traffic or social traffic, that's not how it works, right? It's an accumulative impact. And so today's guest has mastered this, and I'm going to be asking her about what it is she does and how to make this process easier on me so that I'm not sitting there working on it like 24 hours a day, because that's usually when I fall apart. So I'm really excited to introduce you guys to Amanda Baerle, who has been working in partnership with her husband. And here's the thing, right? So she is not necessarily the face of the company, which made me more interested to talk to her because she's the COO. And if I know anything about the people that are that operationally lead my company, she's the one really doing the hard work. We know she's the one with the real knowledge, the stuff that she's out there day to day really doing it. She's been featured in Forbes. She spoke for Russell Brunson on his stage, and we know that that's not an easy stage to get onto. And the company she has with her husband is called Billion Dollar Body, and we're going to talk more about that towards the end of this episode. But for now, I want to welcome her to our podcast. She woke up extra early to film with me, so I really do appreciate that. Amanda, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and jump in and help you get some highly engaged Facebook groups going and along with your listeners.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So as everyone knows, I almost always do pre-podcast interviews with our guests, right? Because I just want to be able to come up with the great, titles and the rounds and all of that. And it was funny because with Amanda, I was one of the few where the pre-podcast interview turned into like a 35-minute conversation, even though she was super busy. I was like, wait, tell me more about this. Tell me more about that. And then I realized, hey, save your questions for the actual episode. So here we are. It's going to be, I already know because I've had a bit of a sneak peek at the content. It's going to be amazing. So Amanda, we have a bit of a tradition here at the Fighting Entrepreneur. So if you don't mind helping me and following along, if you can raise your right hand.
Okay.
And repeat after me. I, Amanda Baerle.
I, Amanda Baerle.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
To tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
To tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
And reveal all of my Facebook group secrets.
And reveal all my Facebook group secrets.
And now we have it on the record. Thank you very much for that. All right, listen, let's move right into round number one. Round number one is, Amanda, you've just got such a powerful story about your partnership with your husband. You guys run such a unique business. After we spoke, I've gone and researched what you do. It's just so wholesome. I love it. I love not just the business, but I love the side story of your partnership with your husband because, my wife and I, we don't necessarily partner on the same business, but lately we've been doing a lot more things together for the foundation. And so we have a foundation, we do a lot of nonprofit work, and it's been such a blessing. So I'm really tickled by it. Tell me your story. How did this partnership with your husband come to be?
Yeah, so my husband and I, Nicholas, we got married at 18 and 20, super, super young. We were both kind of crazy, and we were just like, we're not going to college. He went to college for like one semester and dropped out. And I graduated early, 17 years old, and I was like, I want to go do big things with my life. I know that college isn't the route for me. And so we got married super young, and we wanted to work together. We didn't want to work apart. And so we're like, what can we do together? So we know we don't have to work a normal 9 to 5. And so we actually jumped into a network marketing company, started a business, and we've just been working together ever since. We've had our ups and our downs over the last 7 years, but it's such an amazing journey. And, we transitioned into more online marketing. We were in the health space. So as you can see, $1 billion body. And that's when we really we mastered that. We were able to do high ticket coaching in the health space for entrepreneurs, specifically men. Everyone out there, people always say that the riches are in the niches. And when we were like, okay, we're going to do this health coaching thing, and we were doing it, but we were serving everyone. And so we were like, okay, how can we really, pick a target market and be known for something? And so we actually went to men. And we're like, we're only going to work with men because we're actually really good friends with Brandon and Kaylin Poulin, who own Lady Boss. And so we're like, well, we can't go after women. Like, our best friends go after women. Like, let's just go after men. And so that's when we got started with that. And it's actually evolved into creating the $1 Billion Brotherhood, which is what our community is called. And that's kind of what everyone refers it to now. But it's been such an amazing ride, working with Nicholas every single day in the business. Anyone that works with their significant other, I applaud you. It is not easy. I mean, every single day you are working on communication. Do you take work home with you? Do you not take homework with you? Some people don't have an office. So how do you separate that? There's so many things that go into it. So we actually have a podcast, and we kind of go off and on it, but we do a power couple episode where we answer questions like that. But I just feel really blessed that we're able to do it. I don't think every couple can do it and should do it. Every person has their own passions and dreams, and to put each other in a box and be like, no, we need to work together is kind of just single-minded. And we talk with a lot of the guys, and they're like, Amanda, I wish my wife would work with me like you work with Nicholas. And I'm like, I know, but sometimes it's just not meant to be, and it's okay. She's taking care of the kids and she's doing her own thing, and you work 80 hours a week. You don't want your wife working 80 hours a week with you, and there's just so much that goes into it. But it's been such a fun journey.
It's so funny that you mentioned that, because the way I met my wife, I don't know if a lot of listeners know the story, but the way I met my wife was that I opened an office in India. And so she actually worked for me at the office. She was head of HR. So us dating was completely inappropriate and against every rule that was written by her and me in the books. But we used to fight like cats and dogs, because she represented the people, right, of my team. And it was my job to say no and yes. And a lot of times I had to say no. And so we'd have a fight. And so long story short, I ended up shutting the office down. And then, then we were officially dating. The word got out. And so it was like, okay, we can't really work together anymore. That's just not right. And I shut the office down, and she went on to get other jobs. And then eventually, we went on to get married. And I actually feel like us not working together really helped our relationship at the time. Mm-hmm. And so when we got married and she moved to the U.S., for the first few years, we both had a Chinese wall when it came to work. We did not want to work together because that was the past baggage of it. We're very, very different people, and we do amazingly well together as a personal life, but on a professional level, we're very different. We approach things very differently. Yes. We have different belief patterns about how something should be done. And it wasn't until about a year ago, so after so many years of working on our communication, getting to understand one another, know each other, what's important to the other person, that about a year ago we started working much more intently together on the nonprofit. And that has been magical. That's been amazing, because what are her strengths, she gets to full-blown do it in the nonprofit, and they're truly my weaknesses. Mm-hmm. The nonprofit needs money, great. Put me out there, I'll go raise the money, I love doing it. But once the money's in the account, vetting a project, following up, getting pictures of the kids we're helping, knowing their stories, it's just not my forte. But that's where she loves to spend hours a day, and she loves it. And so the partnership wasn't apparent right off the beginning, but eventually it molded into that. But I completely agree with what you're saying. It's not the case for everybody. And in ours also, we had made a decision. We were not going to work together. Yeah. And that actually helped our relationship. It just happened to be we found the one thing that we really do work together well on. So powerful. You mentioned a podcast. Do you mind sharing what that podcast is so that everyone knows?
Yeah, it's called the $1 Billion Body Podcast. We've been doing it for about 2.5 years. And Nicholas and I have recorded a bunch of episodes. They're titled Power Couple episodes on there. And we actually would love to have you, Anik, as well. So we just interviewed some amazing entrepreneurs on there like yourself. And it's been amazing. So, and I'll kind of dive into like how we actually monetize the podcast, because everyone's like, how do I monetize the podcast? And it's really, we drive everyone from the podcast to the Facebook group. And so I can talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, because I still don't know how to monetize this podcast. I just love doing it. And so, I figured eventually one day I'll figure it out, but I haven't really figured it out. But maybe today's episode will help with that. So this is awesome. And your Facebook groups, we're about to dive into this. We're about to dive into all stuff now, Facebook. So let's get it out there, because I know everyone's going to want to come stalk you now and see what you're doing and how you're applying the teachings you give on this podcast. What is your Facebook group if someone wants to try to join?
Yes. So one, you do have to be a guy to get into it. So sorry, ladies, but you can message.
Hey, hold on. For the record, Amanda said that, not me. All right. I don't want everyone being upset at me. So that was Amanda who said no ladies allowed.
But ladies, if you do have a question, further, you can Instagram me at Amanda Barely. Love to answer your questions. It's called the $1 Billion Brotherhood Facebook group, and you can just search that on Facebook and request to join.
That's awesome. All right. So let's move right along. I want to go into round number 2. Okay, so round number 2. Why Facebook groups? Like, there's all kinds of groups now. LinkedIn has groups, Facebook has groups. I don't know. There's all, like, you could have a community on so many platforms. You could have a forum, you could do your own thing, you could set up your own website with your own community. Why Facebook groups?
Well, for us, we know that our ideal clients are on Facebook. And so that's where we had it. I think that, LinkedIn groups, I don't engage in them. I'm not, we do use LinkedIn marketing. But I think that where people really find community is on Facebook. And so, whenever people have questions and stuff, I feel like forums are, our thing of the past, like blogs. Like, I think that for our target market. Now, if you're into like a different target market, they might be on forums like Reddit or something like that. But for us, we just knew that they were on Facebook. And so we're like, how can we actually get them all in one place? Because unfortunately, the Facebook algorithm is not very good. And you really have to pay to play. And so like, even if you have an amazing Facebook page with 100,000 likes and you have your personal Facebook that has so many followers, I know one of our good friends, Jordan Harbinger, had 80,000 followers on his personal profile. And he was like, I don't know why I did that. Just because the reach on there, like you'll post something and it just won't get out there. But Facebook groups and the trend of Facebook has really been to promote Facebook groups over the last while. So like if you ever go into a group and you start liking and commenting, your entire timeline on Facebook will now be that Facebook group. And you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Because it's really trying to get you to engage more in that. And I think that's for us, we didn't really know that back in the day when we really started it. We just knew that community is the most powerful thing. And entrepreneurs and people that we serve really want to have that. And, we have a brotherhood. So it just worked out really well for us. And I think that when you have a community like that, it brings retention in your company, because people aren't just staying for you. People are staying because they're like, this group is so valuable. The other people, the other clients, even if it's a one-on-one coaching program, the other clients are valuable. And now I've made friends. And so I know that I joined a Facebook group, B School, a few, probably 4 or 5 years ago, when I was getting started, and Marie Forleo's Facebook group was so valuable to me. I made so many amazing friends. Actually, one of our best friends I met in there. So it's really valuable, in my opinion.
I love what you said about think about where your clients are, right? And what kind of state of mind are they going to be in when they engage? So if you have a more social type of environment or type of group, then Facebook makes more sense versus we had a guest on that we interviewed about LinkedIn. And there's a particular idea for Learn that I want to build in the near future, which is actually targeting CEOs and CMOs of mid to large size companies. So we're talking about companies doing 10 million or more in revenue minimum. And it flat out, it made perfect sense by the time we were done thinking about it. It was like, okay, that has to be on LinkedIn. Like that group belongs on LinkedIn and not on Facebook. But so you have to think about what your audience is, where they are, and what they specifically, what kind of mindset are they in at the time that they engage with your group. And the point you made about reach, organic reach, I have to share this with everybody because this is nuts. I have over 1 million people on my Facebook page that clicked like, and I worked pretty hard to get there, and there was definitely some ad spend and a lot of thought process. And I make a post right now, if I do a live or if I do like a video and it's like a really good one, if I hit 15 to 20,000 reach, I am doing a backflip. Like I am so excited. That's disgusting. I mean, of 1 million people that have said, we like this guy, Facebook will show me to 10 or 15,000. If I want to show more, Facebook's like, yeah, you got to pay up, like, give us money. Versus like Instagram, I have 24,000 or something, like close to 24,000 followers. I've posted videos before that have gotten 15,000 views. Forget reach, that's views. And you're so right. I recently joined a Facebook group, Sales Talk with Sales Pros, or one of those guys.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, oh my, I didn't even engage with it. I was just messing around. I just wanted to see what it's about, and holy crap, like I can't see anything else. All I see are messages from that group. And I know what'll happen, right? Because I'm not engaging with it. So I know what's gonna happen is another few days, it'll stop. Like Facebook knows, and they're smart enough.
Yeah.
So we talked about kind of size, right? I built this 1 million person page, which is so awesome social proof wise. It does nothing for me or my business. What about Facebook groups? Like Russ has got 200,000 people. The one I joined, the Sales Talk with Sales Pros, is like 80 some thousand. I have one with like 2,000. So I kind of am embarrassed. I'm like, hey, we're a big company. We have 2,000 people in there. Does size matter?
Size definitely does matter for Facebook groups. I think that, we have 2,600 in our group. And I guess, in my opinion, I think that's amazing because based on the engagement, which I know we're going to get into, because we get more engagement than groups that have 80,000. So I'd rather have a 2,600 Facebook group than an 80,000 that literally gets no engagement and Facebook doesn't show it to anyone.
And this takes a paradigm shift because I still am not there. In my head, I'm like, because I teach this we teach this with email marketing all the time. Jimmy Kim, CEO of SendLane, was on this podcast in an episode where he said you delete inactive leads. Like every 3 months, you purge them. He used to work for me, with me, and he would delete 80, 60, 90,000 leads at a time. And I'm telling you, I couldn't sleep at night. I would say, what are you doing? You're killing my business. And then all of a sudden the next day I would notice my clicks went up, even though I mailed 80,000 less people, because my open rate got so much higher that now Gmail and everyone was actually letting the good people see my email. They were syndicating so I became a believer years ago, but still, would you believe, even though I've seen data proven facts that this stuff works, you told me something on our pre-interview. You're like, we delete members. I'm like, how can you do that? It's just the mindset we have is bigger is better. And, but you were so clear just now and in the pre-interview. It's like, no, you got to have active members, and that means so much more. We're going to talk more about this, but the 2,600 that you have, how many do you think you've gotten up to, and then you like deleted back to like 2,600?
Probably like 3,500.
Okay, so you've taken, so that's what, 800 people, 800 of 3,500. You're almost at a 20%, close to like a 17, 18% deletion rate.
Yes.
It takes kahunas to just say, like, I worked hard to get these people. Because the other thing I asked you is, I was like, oh, did you do some kind of like Facebook ad or something? You're like, no, these are organic. Like we have done these, gotten them the right way, which we'll talk about. But so that's like a lot of work that went into those 700-800 people that go. But I really want everyone to understand this, and that was really the big key part of this round is a lot of people that don't have big audiences, right? A lot of our students are like, I'm just starting, I don't have a big audience, and I try to convince them, you get 50 people in your group. That could start to ricochet, and that's exactly what you're saying. Can you tell us a little bit before we go into the rest of? Can you tell us the story? Like, how long ago did you set up your Facebook group? How fast did it grow? When you were first started it, how many people were in it? So that someone who's just starting a group now can understand. Like, do they already have to have a big email list and a big audience for this to be worth their time?
Yeah. So This comes down to anything in life. It takes consistency. And, your show's The Fighting Entrepreneur. Like, you have to fight for this. It doesn't just happen overnight, and it doesn't just happen by accident. And so if you want a highly engaged Facebook group, you have to consistently work at it. And so if you just decide, hey, I want to start a Facebook group today, I'm going to add all these people. One, don't add anyone. Definitely don't add anyone to your Facebook group. I mean, I get added to so many Facebook groups every day. I think actually Facebook is I think they came out with something where you can't just add people. They have to accept it now. But back in the day, you could just add a whole bunch of people to your Facebook group and have 500 people. And everyone's like, wait, what did I get added to? I didn't even see this. And so don't add people. What you want to do is invite them, through all your other channels to this Facebook group. And it's going to grow. Obviously, it's going to be slower at first. And then once you get more people, once you have more content, once people really understand what the group is all about, then, you're really going to start seeing it work. But in the beginning, I highly suggest posting 3 times a day in the group. Someone who actually is amazing at this as well is Screw the 9 to 5. Their Facebook group, when they had it back in the day, was amazing. And they had a theme. We don't really have a theme other than that we do a Facebook Live every single Tuesday, a Q&A that people can count on, that every Tuesday at 4 that we'll do that. But in the beginning, you want to be posting really good content, engaging content, getting people to really engage with what you're saying in the group. And, in the beginning, like I said, it's going to be oh, well, I only got a couple comments or I only got a couple likes, but it's yeah, but over time, and the more people you get in the group, that's going to keep compounding. And some people are just lurkers in the group as well. And then eventually they'll start commenting and liking it. But I highly suggest for those first people that you get in your group, do something. We have a welcome video that's pinned to the top. And we are hey, welcome to the group. This is what it's about. Please make a post, a video or something like that, telling us who you are and why you joined the group, what you're all about. And everyone loves free promotion. At least most people do, unless they're super, super shy. But most people will make a post or a comment. So right away, they're engaged and people are commenting on their stuff. And it just makes it really easy. You want to make people feel like they're a part of something exclusive, that they're in this group. And obviously, you're not charging for the Facebook group, but you want to make them feel like this is extremely valuable to your success. And it could be worth a lot of money, but I'm not charging you anything for it. So just think about it like that, and get people to join the group and engage fast.
So we're going to talk about the content posting process and the indoctrination process in a few minutes. What I want to do is I just changed it up. I changed the rounds. I always do this, by the way. I didn't warn you, Amanda. But so we're going to throw in I changed round number 3. And so let's move on. I actually want to get a bit of a tactical approach from you for all of our listeners who don't have an existing audience as to what they would do, what you see their first month like, possibly. So if you're cool, let's move on. All right, so round number 3, before we start it, of course, I want to throw this out there, everybody. Make sure you go to learn.com, LURN.com. Sign up for a free account. We've got tons of amazing courses in there. We've got free courses. We've got courses you can pay for. Maybe one of these days soon, we might have a course from Amanda in there as well. We'll be pitching her about that later. It's a great community. We have 261,000 members now from all over the world. Now, the dream of Learn, what are we going to be? 10 million members all over the world in one platform. And we're going to build 50 Learn centers all over the world. Can you imagine what a monumental shift we will create in the world if we can take 1 million entrepreneurs, make them successful? So 10 million members, but if 1 million of them can become successful, we'll change the world together. We don't have to wait for the government to do it. We'll do it together. So how do you be a part of the movement? First, go to LURN.com and join. It's free, no credit cards, nothing. Get in there, get active, and hey, go to our Facebook group. It's the Learn Nation Facebook group, and get active in there as well. But don't judge me for not having done any of the stuff that Amanda's talking about. We will be doing it soon. Amanda, all right. So I'm going to give you a fictitious example of what I believe is to be a norm, an average person who's looking at this, and probably quite a few of our listeners. They have an idea. They have some friends on Facebook. They have friends in real life. They have maybe some followers on Instagram, but not much. Like we're talking, average. It's not like a marketer. And they want to start a Facebook group about, I don't know, AV, audio visual stuff. Like they love cameras and lights and all of that. What does their first month look like? And if you were coaching me, how many members would I tell you I have at the end of the first month that would excite you, where you'd be like, whoa, that's great? Because I want everyone to kind of have the expectations in their head of what's good in your mind since you're doing this so well.
That's a good question. Well, first off, I want to go over something. If I was new and getting it in a Facebook group, my first question would be, what the heck do I name it? Right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know what to name this group. The first thing, if you don't have a company already that is specific to what you're doing, then you need to create something that people maybe are searching for on Facebook. So maybe create like AV experts or, I don't know, because like, Ryan Stewman, you were talking about sales talks for sales pros, it's all about sales, and people find that group organically because they like search sales or something on Facebook, and that's what pops up. So create something that is about what you're doing if you don't have a company name already, or like a community-based thing. So that's what I would suggest. Honestly, I don't have the perfect answer, but I think based on like if I was getting started, if you had, 100 to 300 people in your first month in the Facebook group, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like that means that people want to join it and people are liking what you're putting out there, and we can, grow it from there. If there's already 100 to 300 people, then because that's like your hot market, you know what I mean? You have like your cold, your warm, and then you have your hot. Like those first people are going to be your hot people that like want to know what you're doing.
Yeah. Awesome. So there you go, everybody. That gives you at least a bit of a benchmark of a number to aim for. I don't honestly, 100 may even, if that sounds heavy to you, trust me, it's really not. Once you get going, it's really not. I do have a question before we move into kind of, and this maybe this question belongs in a different round, but whatever, I'll ask it now anyways. So I've always had this, I'm a little confused on how Facebook would grow your group organically. First of all, I know that's possible. I'm doubtful that you've called 3,500 people and said, hey, I'm sending you a link. Can you go there and join the group? I'm sure some people have found their way into you, whether it be through your podcast or whatever. But the challenging part I have in my head is if I'm not a part of Learn Nation's group, I'm not going to see Learn Nation's posts because I'm not part of the group. Mm-hmm. So then how would I ever discover the group organically? Other than me saying it on a podcast or me inviting someone or sending an email? Like, is that the only way? Or do these groups also pop up randomly for people that Facebook thinks are a good fit?
Yeah, so there actually is in like the right-hand tab, or when you're in like groups, it'll also say suggested groups for you to join. And for me, I have joined a few because I'm always trying to connect with other podcasters, because we do book Nicholas on a lot of podcasts. So when I am in like a Facebook group for a podcast and it says like other groups to join that are about podcasts, I'm like, oh, cool, I'm going to join those as well because I want to network with those people. So that's when I join them. And yeah, we actually do get quite a few people every single month that find us through the suggested Facebook group, which is really cool. I didn't even know that back in the day of like, we just saw like the data when it was coming in. We're like, oh, Facebook group, like Facebook suggested other people to join this. That's so cool. So yeah, we don't focus on that, but I think it's such a really, it's so cool.
Yeah. And I wanted everyone to hear that because this is another reason why when you start your first group and you only have 20, 30, 40, 50 people in it, it might make you think, why am I going to put the effort of making a good post or making a video or doing a live? I have like 40 people in here. But the thing is, the more active you are, the more engaging your group is, the better your group is, the more Facebook will like you, and most likely the more they will suggest your group to other people. And the more active your users are, the more likely those users' friends are to hear about your group. Facebook's algorithms are incredibly advanced, so you should remember that. So it's actually ironic, but when you're starting a group and you may not be that inspired because it's not that many people, that's when you need to be the most active. I'm guilty of this. I mean, we have 2,400 people in our group, and they got there because of, I mentioned it somewhere, or we sent one email, so I'm a little spoiled. But then I'm like, I mean, I have a 1.1 million person email list. What am I going to do with 20? It's a totally wrong approach of looking at it, and we're correcting that now. But you're right. Like if I could get those 2,300 plus people to be active, like God knows how many other people would get that suggestion by Facebook. Very
I want
cool.
to mention too, the title is important. I think that more people join a group that's more broad or topic based rather than, let's say, $1 Billion Brotherhood or Learn Nation. They're like, oh, I don't know what that is. But when it's like a topic based or like Successful Entrepreneur Group, it's like people will join that because it's like, hey, that's me too. So
absolutely,
I think that's good.
And I think this is where purpose comes into play a little bit, because for us, our purpose is so much driven around creating that following behind the term Learn Nation. We use it all the time, hashtag Learn Nation. And because at Learn, we do have such a big audience. We have 1.1 million person email list. We know the day we decide to really devote ourselves to that group, we could get a ton of members that do know what Learn Nation is, and then we ideally only want to attract people into the group who would know what Learn Nation is. So see, the purpose is different, but if I was out there trying to reach organic entrepreneurs to draw them into my brand, then you're right, Learn Nation would be a horrible name for that group. It means nothing to those people.
Yeah, I mean, we have the same thing. We want people who already kind of know who we are and have heard us from something else, and they actually want to get plugged into the community.
Got it. No, I love it. All right. So, so let's move on. I want to go to round number 4. Round number 4. I titled it The Indoctrination Process. And it's because it's so funny. Like, you would think, right, that most people take this approach of group building, and they're out there, like you said, a lot of people are like, boom, they just add a bunch of people and they're like, yay, I got 300 members. And it's like, okay. Or they go out there and they're actively hustling. So they don't want, or they wouldn't want, hurdles in the way of someone joining a group. But yet, when I spoke to you, the first thing I remember we talked about, you're like, they have to apply. And I thought, well, geez, that's interesting. Like, you actually want to put hurdles in the way. You want to push them away. So tell me a little bit about your indoctrination process. Like, you don't just no one can just hit a button and join. It's not possible. You make them go through a bunch of steps and jump through hoops to get to become a part of your group. So can you walk me through that process?
Yes. So we do ask people to complete the 3 questions. And I have joined a couple groups and they do ask, and the thing is you get people that are serious about the group when they fill out those questions. For us, we're like, how did you hear about us? That's an easy question. That's not like, oh my gosh, give me your phone number and address. Like, it's just an easy question. We want to know where they came from so that we know what is working. We also ask, what their business is, what they do. And most people will be willing to answer that. The last question that we answer is like, hey, drop your email below and we're going to send you a free gift to your email. And that's like, those are the 3 questions. It really depends on, what you want to know from them. But for us, that's kind of the things that we really want to know. We want to know what type of business they're in, what they do, and then also, where they came from. And then if they give us their email, which most of them do, that's like, okay, that's awesome. We just got an organic lead. And then we manually enter them into the email list, which sends them like a free guide that we have.
Very, very cool. So now you're talking to my heart, because you're doing list building, and that's just I love email and the power of email. So what if I don't answer question number 2? What's your business? I just leave it blank. I skip it. What happens? Do I get rejected from the group? How do you handle that?
It just depends. Most people, like I said, they answer it. They answer all the questions. If they don't answer any of the questions, though, because you can just like ask to join and not fill them out, we actually send them a message. I mean, we don't, our assistant does, sends them a message and say, hey, thanks so much for asking to join the group. Please click here and complete the questions and we'll get you in the group.
I like it.
And so,
I'm just gonna, just let them in.
Yeah, and people do see that. Sometimes it goes to their other folder, but most of the time they see that. And then if we see they're like really amazing and maybe they just didn't see the questions or something like that, we'll go ahead and accept them later. But for the most part, every single person that's in that group has filled out those 3 questions.
So is it mandatory that they put their email address in there? Like what if some people get weird about it. And so what if I don't want to give you my email address? Will you still let me in the group or no?
Yeah, we'll still let them in the group, but most of the time they do answer that question, which is really great. But if they don't answer, we know that eventually them being in the group and them seeing our first welcome post, they'll probably eventually give us their email.
So how does that email then get into, for example, Sendlane? I use Sendlane.com. Is there a Zapier integration or some kind of app, or literally how do you even see it? Where do you see that email address?
It's in the request to join folder.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically right now we have 50 pending people that are in the group. And so in there, you can search by people who answer the questions and it'll just be right there, their name, they asked to join at this time, and their answers. And there is a app out there that can do a Zapier type of integration. We haven't done that just because I think that if you're getting hundreds and hundreds every single day, that's so much work. I think that you can look into something like that. We don't get hundreds every single day. So for us, it's easier to just manually put their email in, and it takes 3 seconds. So.
Okay, got it. So nice and simple, right? Just copy the email address, move it over. And now everyone, you're building an email list as well. So there's all these side benefits. And for people who are wondering man, that sounds like a lot of work just for a small group in the beginning. Amanda, I saw you made a post yesterday where you were bragging about your husband, which was awesome. It's always nice to see. But he did 4 podcasts yesterday, I think you had said.
Yes.
Yeah. So, guys, successful entrepreneurship takes time and energy. It takes work.
Oh my gosh.
So, especially in the beginning, you want to build. So a lot of people come to me, Amanda, they'll be like, I want free traffic. I want free subscribers. I don't want to pay any money for traffic. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But then you better give it hours and you better hustle and you better work really hard. So here's another example. If you get a group up and running and you work it hard and you put your heart into it, you make good posts, and then you go out and you get on podcasts and do interviews, you get more and more members, you build an email list as well. It's a side benefit. And all of a sudden, then Facebook gets happy with you, starts organically throwing you everywhere, and now you're just getting free subscribers from Facebook, which is
yeah. And I want to add too that a lot of the content that Nicholas posts in the group, we actually repurpose his long form content and we put it on all other social media channels. It's just that specific post is maybe a little bit more geared, in the end or something, the call to action is a lot more geared to the group and getting them to comment below a certain thing. So a lot of times we use our content everywhere. Now his Facebook live videos and stuff like that, we don't repurpose, but that's just in the group. But a lot of that is repurposed. So you obviously have to be smart with it and still make the group extremely valuable. But if you're wanting to get into entrepreneurship and you don't want to work, I don't know what you're thinking, but you might as well just quit now, because anything amazing in life takes so much work and it takes grit and hustle. And that's really how we built our business for the first 3 years. We literally created multiple 6 figures without any paid advertising. It was all hustle. It was just organically. And we still don't even spend that much money on advertising. A lot of what we do is just retargeting people that are engaged with our stuff. And
I love that little line. I love that line. I almost want to pull it out and make it part of my trailer for the podcast. It was if you're not ready to work hard, just quit. You're not even, you're not an entrepreneur. I love it. Man, I had a question that came up. Anyways, I'll ask all the content or post-related questions. Okay, so now they got accepted. They get a message that says, hey, you've been approved. Walk me through the journey, because your indoctrination is not done yet. You guys are pretty good about really going after them in the beginning. So what's their journey going to look like?
So after they get accepted, we then send them a message that's saying hey, thank you so much for joining the group. Please go make a post or a video inside the group explaining who you are so we can get to know you. And not everyone does that. But what we do is we have our that first video that's pinned to the top, and most people go and watch that and they comment below like where they live. So it's just like an easy question. It's like, where do you live at? Then every single Monday, there's like a thing in the Facebook group that says, welcome your new members. And so then we welcome all of them. Like Facebook like automatically tags all of them. And then we're like, hey, welcome to the group. So excited to have you part of the Brotherhood. Comment below. What do we say? Comment below like the number one thing you're working on right now, like how, what you're known for, so that other people, you can start networking with other people. And so it's really cool because the other members comment and they're like, dude, congrats on joining the group. So pumped to have you. Like all the other guys are like commenting back to all of them.
So question, how I've had this happen to me for smaller groups as well, and I've never investigated it, but as a member of groups, I'm a member of a couple of like Facebook advertising groups, and I see these posts like once in a while they'll say welcoming new members, and they've tagged all the members, and I get it because that person you tagged is gonna get a little ping, and so then they're gonna likely come back. And is that automatic, or is that person sitting there literally like looking at a list of all the people that joined that week and is like tagging them one by one?
No, Facebook does it automatically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there a way to activate that feature? Where is it hidden somewhere, or is it just, it's not even in my control? Facebook just literally automatically does that every week.
Well, they don't post it, but they have like, it's on like the right side. And it's like, welcome your new members.
Oh.
And then you click welcome on there, and then it like automatically creates just like all their names, and it's like welcome new members. And then we just change the text at the top and add a picture.
All right, so that is right
there. That's pretty the first, smart.
I just went down. So we do a TKO sometimes, Amanda. You just put me on the floor, but I got back up. I'm back up. Okay, so not TKO just yet.
I'm actually a secret like software nerd. I'm like super techie, and it's kind of why like I'm into all of this stuff.
Really cool. Is there so no matter how big the group, or does Facebook turn that functionality off at some point?
That would be something that I don't know because our group hasn't.
It's on for you still, though. I mean, I'm just wondering, like some of these groups, like, can you imagine, like, if Russell Brunson did that? I mean, I don't know how many thousands he gets a week.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Okay, so Joe just said he's in a group of 21,000, and they do it every week for him still. So there we go. We know up to 21,000.
I feel like if I had a huge group, I probably would do it twice a week, just so that it's like not so crazy.
So it's not like yeah. Man, awesome. All right. So you personally message each member with a direct message or private message. I don't know what Facebook calls it. Every single person. I'm assuming your assistant does that, or?
Yeah, she does it though through Nicholas's account. So kind of what we always have found is that people respond to people they know. And so if they're getting a message from someone random, they're like, who is this? But because it's coming from Nicholas's account, they're like, oh crap, like he just messaged me. Like if Anik messages me, like, oh my gosh, like it's kind of cool. Even sometimes it goes to their other folder, but sometimes people will find it later and they're like, oh my gosh. So yeah, we have her like log into his account.
And so now do you add them as a friend on Nicholas' personal profile?
We can't because he has too many friends. Because Facebook only allows you to have 5,000 friends. So you can't, but you can follow your profile.
But they have to ask for that. You can't add them or anything. Basically, you just
you
tough to be Mr. Popular.
In the beginning when you don't have 5,000 Facebook friends, totally add those people, because those people are I always think you should be friends with your clients. You know, it's so when we get new clients, like we make sure that we're always friends with all of them. Even when people come to our events, like Nicholas will go through his Facebook and we'll just delete people that don't have a profile picture anymore or whatever. And so that we can make room for people that are coming to our event, because the more they can see you, the more they can see your content, your face, and you're in their head, like everywhere we go, because Nicholas is like the king of engagement. People are like, dude, you're blowing up my Facebook feed everywhere. Like, because he'll go and comment and like stuff from like 2 years ago, and people are like, what? And so yeah, you want to make friends with those people.
I do that in bursts once a week when I'm totally like, I'm on a flight and there's just nothing else to do. The only thing that'll load in my browser is Facebook, and then I go comment on everything. All right, so you personally engage with every member, you message them. That's awesome. What's next? What are other? So the third thing there was I want to make sure I highlight. I love that idea of pinning something to the top specifically designed to get them to leave a comment. Like it's because they then engage with the group, and Facebook's like, oh, this person likes the group. We'll show more messages from this group to this person. So that was a cool little technique, a little hack there, which was like, hey, where are you from? And that gets them to comment. Anything else that's happening early on in the process of a new member that's kind of part of your indoctrination process?
Well, we have in that welcome post, we have like steps to take. Now, I can't really track, where people are going from there, but we have them like subscribe to the podcast if they aren't subscribed already. Then we have go grab Nicholas's book. And then if this is when we're like really promoting our live event, we'll be like, grab your ticket to the live event. So, or register for the webinar or whatever it is. So we always kind of change that based on the actions we want them to take. But like I said, you can't really track if they're, which ones they're doing, who's doing it. But we really try to get them after they get into the group to take actions on those other things.
That is amazing. All right, so that's a lot of activity. Now, do you email your list consistently about the group? Meaning, like, if you're doing a live, do you send people to the group through other means as well to kind of create and boost that engagement?
Yeah, so every single week, maybe even twice a week on Nicholas's Insta stories, we will do like a promotion to join, like a swipe up to join the group. And we actually get quite a few people that are in there. We make posts on LinkedIn and on Facebook and through the email list as well. I think that, sometimes it just depends on like kind of what we're promoting at the time. But most of the time when we're just like, we're just writing value emails, we'll usually have a call to action to join the group. But then it's like, we sometimes have to switch it up because sometimes people are like, I'm already in the group. Why do you keep, like, if that's the only call to action you have, then people are kind of like annoyed by that. But I think that, you just kind of have to switch it up. And sometimes we make a sole email only about the group. And one time we did that and we had like 40 people from our email list join, which for us, our email list is at 1 million. So that was like really good that we had like 40 people that weren't in the Facebook group that asked to join from an email list.
So to me, it sounds like the Facebook group is like, it sounds to me like the heart of your marketing strategy because you really drive people into it. Would that be a fair statement?
I would say that because for us, we are community based. And so everything that we do is like, your network is your net worth, community, like your environment will dictate your success. And so if we can get people in the group and have that social accountability of like, hey, this guy just bought his ticket to BDB Live. All of these people are reading the book, all of these different things. And it's like, it's that community based and people actually like become business partners in this Facebook group. People become best friends in the Facebook group. Like our whole thing is creating brotherhood. And so if you have like a community or like a group or something that you want to create, like a group coaching, it's so good to have people in the group together and really have that Facebook group as the community, because then they get to know other people and it makes it so much more valuable. Like I'm in Russell's Inner Circle. And so his Facebook group is actually extremely valuable because you have all these amazing marketers. When you post a question, they comment on it. And so it's like, dude, this freaking Facebook group is so valuable. I'm getting like free coaching. And so we kind of make our Facebook group like that to lead them to becoming a client that's even more highly engaged, more accountability, and a smaller group.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Only last question that has nothing to do with indoctrination, but it absolutely baffles my mind is, so how long before I get deleted? If I join your group and I don't do anything, how long before you kick me the heck out? And how do you do that?
Well, we don't actually do that. We just do like a purge post.
Okay.
And so what we do is, and this is so nuts because this thing will like pop up and we'll do like a purge post and we'll be like, hey, we're about to delete 500 members or like 100 members. If you want to stay, comment below. That is the most engaged post in the Facebook group because everyone comments on it and they're like, don't kick me out. I don't want to go. I love it here. And you're like, okay, I'm not kicking you out. But we're just like, we're creating that engagement, that like hype. And then what we do is we go through the group, and anyone, like our system will go through anyone who doesn't have a profile picture anymore or we don't even accept people. I know this is kind of mean, and I don't know, I guess you could say it's mean, but if people don't have a profile picture of them and they have like a picture of like a cat, we literally don't accept them because we're like, bro, we don't know who you are. Like, that's kind of weird. Like, I'm talking to a cat right now in the comment. Like, and so we just like don't accept those people, or if we have accepted them in the past, we go and delete them usually.
Yeah. Is there a way on Facebook, does Facebook have a functionality for me to like pull up all my members and see like their engagement rate?
Yes.
And then anyone with a super low engagement, just remove them?
Yes, you can.
Oh, wow. Is that in the settings somewhere? How would I do that?
Yes, it's in the settings. There's like, it's insights in the group. So you can see engagement, you can see new members, you can see comments. Yeah.
You can see engagement by member?
Uh-huh. Like who are your top engagers?
Man, crap. I want to kick some people out of groups. If you're listening to this, and you better go actively participate in the Learn Nation group, I want to kick you out.
Well, and also I think
first of all, I'd have to kick myself out. So first person to kick out would be myself. That's pretty powerful stuff. If you have a picture of a cat. Now, here's a fun side question. This is completely not going to help with content, but what if there's a name like Alex? Kind of a unisex name, could be a woman, sneaks her way into the group. How are you confirming that there really are men?
Well, the profile picture usually
okay.
We'll say,
man, you guys are okay.
Yeah.
You're looking at that. And if they sneak in, they do get kicked out,
well,
right?
And I think it's funny. Normally they don't sneak in, but I think it's funny that a lot of women ask to join. Like even like the other day, I think one of our friends asked to join, and I was like, it says $1 Billion Brotherhood. Like, why would you want to join that? But even our men's events, women love them. And we were even thinking, we're like, we got to do something like, because we have like a group for like our clients' wives and girlfriends and stuff. But like we have to like find something because women love our events. They want to come to it. Like they want to come to it. Their like husband doesn't want to come to it. I'm like, okay, this is like, they're like, I want to be successful.
Do you allow women at the events? I'm assuming no.
No, just the volunteers are women.
Okay. I was going to say, are you allowed at the event? Like, can you walk around the event?
Yeah.
But I guess the staff can, right? All right, cool. All right, I love it. I'm actually, it's funny because the fact alone that you're talking about it, I mean, I'm very interested in joining because it's nice to be able to have that kind of connection. Joe is asking, do wives want to join on behalf of their husbands and participate on behalf of them?
Well, sometimes women are like, my husband's not doing anything. I'm going to jump in there and do it.
Oh.
We do have those women, and it's quite funny, but
Learn's got quite a few of them too. We got a lot of them. In some cases, I gotta be honest, they save their husbands' behinds. So very cool. All right, well let's move on. Let's go to round number 5. All right, so round number 5, content posting. I did grab a couple of snippets. So someone's listening, they're like, okay, how often do I post? I've heard all kinds of things in the past, but can you what's your standard operating procedure? Do you have a list of like, okay, every week, boom, 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 this is a good week of content activation or posting inside of Facebook for us?
Yeah, so fortunately, Nicholas really loves like storytelling. And so pretty much every single day, he writes some type of emotional story or some like long form post, which takes a ton of work. I personally could not do it. I'm not that type of person like that can sit there and type. So you also have to find the content that really works for you. So if you love doing video and you love like maybe an engagement post or something like with like a picture, then do that. But if you like doing long form posts, then do that. And so find the content that works for you, but there's so many good things. There's questions you can ask. And I think the biggest thing that is so helpful is you're literally polling your ideal clients. So if you have a question, you're creating something, ask it in the Facebook group because those people will give you their real honest answer. And so, whether it's, I want to create a webinar, what should I title it? Or I want to create this program. Like, what do people need? What do people struggle with? So asking really awesome questions that get them to engage, whether if it's really just selfish, you just want to know, or if it's something that you're like really passionate about and you want to get their opinion. We always create those types of engaging content that will just leave people like, oh yeah, this is the book that I'm reading right now. This is the podcast I'm reading. I think for us personally, we could be better at a content strategy of like, what we're doing, but really it just has become such a habit that we should probably write it down exactly what we're doing. Like how many times we post, pictures always do well. So always, if you can include a picture in what you're doing, people love pictures. So I would just include that in there. And then videos as well, Facebook Lives. I know that Facebook is definitely like, they like when you do stuff consistently. We actually had a friend who went to Facebook headquarters and she was like, yeah, like you need to post like if you're going to do a Facebook Live, do it at the same time every single week. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, Facebook told me that. Like I went to their headquarters. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So like every single Tuesday at 4 Pacific Standard Time, we do a Q&A Facebook Live. And so now it's just like, we have so many people jump on that now. He gets way more engagement in the Facebook group than on his personal profile. So in content wise, find out what works for you. Find out like, some type of theme you can follow. Maybe it's like Monday motivation, or like, Wednesday, like post your greatest resource or something like that.
Wow. But you had mentioned try to post 3 times a day. And so that's posts from you, not other members included. Other members can post as well, but that's 3 posts from Nicholas per day. It could be a story, it could be an image, it could be a video, but that's 3 initiations from him per day.
Yes.
Got it. All right. And so a mixture of it.
And then one of them will be your welcome post every single Monday. That's what we do.
Okay, yeah. Great. Yeah, so one that's kind of welcoming all the members. Now, throughout the day, I'm assuming that Facebook group is staying even more active because your members are posting stuff as well. So there's probably multiple posts going on. Wow, awesome. And then a live, same time, same day, every week. I've actually heard the same, by the way, Amanda, about YouTube from someone that it's not just algorithmic, but it's also because your audience learns to expect it, so they show up more, so they're there more, and the more they're there, the more comments they're getting, the more comments and likes they're doing, the more Facebook will syndicate it for you. So there's like an actual algorithmic reason for it, and I can totally see it. I personally am I lack the discipline, or I lack the ability. So I was going to say so what if you and Nicholas are on a vacation?
Yeah.
It's Tuesday at 4. Still going to do it?
Actually, no, we didn't do it. We just got back from Mexico. We went to Cabo. And so we took 1 week off out of the whole year. It's like, whatever.
Is he, so he's allowed to do that. So, no, and then what about the posting? 3 posts a day from Nicholas. Did he take a week off from that as well?
He posted every single day still, but you could batch it. We did do some posts, and yeah, we batched like simple content, stuff that we repurposed, pictures, engaging stuff. We just scheduled it, which is great. You can schedule your posts in the Facebook group. Do that so it doesn't consume your time. And I think once you get, we've been doing this for 3 years. Do we post every day 3 times? No, but we do post every single day. Once at least, if not 2 or 3 times. But in the beginning, you want to post a lot of good content.
So it sounds to me also right, this is something that everyone who's listening, all you fighting entrepreneurs, you have to consider this. You've made it very clear, Nicholas enjoys the engagement, the interaction. He likes posting. And there are going to be people who do not.
Yeah.
I fall in the middle. So I'm not a very social person on social media. I just don't like to do too much, but I enjoy certain things. And so you have to build your strategy around what you like. For example, this podcast is a ton of work. We're up to 3 episodes a week. I'm not nearly as ahead as you would think. A lot of them I'm filming 2-3 days before the episode. So I'm trying to keep up. One could easily argue, man, if I just went to 1 episode a week, I'd be months ahead by now. But I love doing this podcast. I absolutely love it. So I learned so much from it. And so we are building our social media strategy around the podcast. Mm-hmm. That way it's already being done. It's not a stress in my head, and it's been really, really helpful. It's actually helped grow the podcast a lot. We've actually seen the trend when we're posting to social media, and then for a month we had stopped, and you could actually see the podcast start to have negative growth. I'm like, this is going the wrong way. And we started posting again, boom, it started going up again. So I want everyone to understand that just because Nicholas and Amanda do it one way doesn't mean you have to do it exactly that way. But hey, at least they gave you a model. Their model works, so you know a good benchmark to start from.
Yeah, and I think you have to have your focus on, you can only have your focus on a few things. And so for us, we focus on the Facebook group for the most part, and trying to think what else we focus on, like actually put a lot of time into. I would honestly say mostly the Facebook group. Nicholas doesn't enjoy the podcast as much as you do. He's like, I do one a week. Like there's not 3 times a week, but he uses the Facebook group to push the podcast. He'll post in there and he'll be like, hey, I'm interviewing Anik, he's done XYZ. What kind of questions would you want me to ask him? So then that creates a lot of engagement, and then people are like pumped, and then he like posts about it. And so that's kind of how we use it a lot. But yeah, you do have to find, what works for you. There's so many things out there as an entrepreneur that you can get caught up in, and you have to be focused on what really is going to drive the thing for you in your business.
Absolutely. And in the end, your posts are about engagement, right? If you're just posting random stuff no one cares about, your group will die. And it would probably deserve to die, because obviously if no one's engaging with you, then no one cares about what you're posting. And so you're not being good to the group. So really, how do you keep people engaged? And post more stuff that they respond to, or post a purge post. And that's a quick way to get engagement. But see, again, if you posted a purge post and you've not been good to the group and they don't care about you, and you're like, I'm going to delete, they'll be like, yeah, thanks, please. How do I get out of this thing? And so no one's going to leave a comment, hence your purge post will get no engagement. So that's a pretty interesting. All right, well, we're kind of winding down here. I really want to talk to you about growing and monetizing. So I want to move right into round number 6, and let's talk about growing and monetizing a Facebook group. All right, so round number 6, growing and monetizing a Facebook group. We'll get right to it. Amanda, if you had to right now give me 3 of the most powerful marketing strategies. So you said you mostly do organic. So what are the 3 organic things that you've done that have contributed the most members to your group?
So the first thing is on the back end of any funnel you have, or any type of email thing. First thing is get them into the Facebook group. So whether that's on the thank you page, which I highly suggest, put that on the thank you page, or the first email they get, which obviously is the most open email, you want to have them click on that to join the group. So that would be one thing. Another thing that's really great is you can do a giveaway inside the Facebook group. And we actually did this because I think we were at 1,500, and we were like, we got to get to 2,000. Like, I don't know. We just came up with this thing. We're like, we got to get to 2,000 people. And I think it was Nicholas. And so he was just like, okay, we need to like round up like all the guys to like get on board with this. And so he literally like got the Facebook group so pumped up about hitting 2,000 members that they invited their friends.
Oh.
And so, and we actually did like some giveaways. And so basically, Facebook also tracks this, and you kind of have to just put it in a spreadsheet, who invited who. So it'll be like, Amanda invited Anik to the $1 Billion Brotherhood, and it'll say that. Or actually, it'll say Anik asked to join. It was like invited by Amanda Fairley. And so you can like write that down. But anyway, you can just get other people in the group to invite their friends. And so you can give them examples of like, hey, here's what to post. If you have any people that you think would be a good fit, like that you think would find value, add them to the group. And then whoever has added the most amount of people, we're going to do this big giveaway for. So Some people are really motivated by that type of stuff. And so they'll take action and they'll invite people. So I think that would be a really awesome way to grow the group, is getting other people to do the work for you.
Awesome. All right. So number 1 was back end of all the funnels and all of that. Number 2 was giveaway. Let the other people do the hard work. What would be number 3?
Number 3 to really grow your group would be to do a giveaway on your personal page or Instagram or something, and say something like, hey, I'm going to be doing this huge giveaway. You have to be in the Facebook group to win it. And then you drive people to the Facebook group and be like, this is when I'm announcing it. Giveaways are so huge on Instagram. To grow your Instagram, that's actually a really amazing way, is to do a giveaway and like, hey, if you want to win this giveaway, you also have to like tag and follow these other people and stuff like that. And so if you look at any influencer, they're always doing that type of stuff, especially like women influencers. They're always giving away things. So I think that would be a really great way to grow your Facebook group. We haven't personally done that one yet, of like doing it on your personal and then driving people to the group, but we probably will in the future because I think it's a good idea.
And you mentioned some other stuff too. I mean, you mentioned that Nicholas goes on a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, I just say I don't know if that would be the fastest, but yeah, everything, like even in the book, it says join the $1 Billion Brotherhood Facebook group, and it has like a whole page. Posting on LinkedIn, yeah, any podcast you get on, tell people to join that. On your Instagram, maybe Instagram messages. I forgot to tell you, we do like a LinkedIn marketing strategy where we message people, we make connections. We use like this software, and it messages them eventually. And it's like, hey, I'd love to have you in the $1 Billion Brotherhood Facebook group. I think you'd be a really good fit and you'd find a lot of value since you're XYZ. And that's like all automated stuff.
So what is that software? That sounds pretty epic.
I actually have like a LinkedIn expert if you ever want to talk to him, but he basically uses like LinkedIn Helper and like Sales Navigator.
Ah, okay. So you use the inbuilt.
Yeah.
You use the inbuilt, because I know that LinkedIn has Sales Navigator and Helper. So using that, there is a way to. I'd love to have this person on my podcast, by the way. So using that, this individual will help you grow your group.
Yeah, or book up phone appointments, whatever you're really trying to do. It's like actually making connections with the right people.
Who is this? Who's this person?
He's one of our clients named Jimmy Coleman. And he
I know that name.
Yeah, he's like in the ClickFunnels group. What's so great about groups is basically, this is kind of off topic, but what he does is ClickFunnels posts, people post in the ClickFunnels group and they're like, hey, I'm looking for a LinkedIn expert. Okay. Then Jimmy goes, hey guys, can you help comment? Like, this is the power of community. He tells our group, he's in our mastermind, and he then has like 30 guys comment on that post in the ClickFunnels group saying, you need to talk to Jimmy Coleman. You need to talk to Jimmy Coleman. Like, that is the power of an amazing like community. And if you don't have that, like, you got to go out there and find that, because it's so powerful to have people that have your back and endorse you in a social way.
So Jimmy Coleman, I just added him on Facebook. See how quick this stuff works? Gotta love it, right? He has no idea right now that she's talking about him. And so... So Jimmy Coleman is Chief Giving Officer. Is that Grow and Give? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Grow and Give Co. So it's growandgiveco.com. And so we will track him down and we'll get him on here to learn from him how to use this software and tech on LinkedIn. Because I really do. We had a great guest on, Josh Turner, right? We had Josh Turner on. He gave an amazing strategy on how to use LinkedIn. So it's such a weakness of mine. All right, so that's how you grow a Facebook group. Now, there's the other question is, how do you monetize a Facebook group? Because a lot of people will start just posting like, buy my products, buy my stuff. But I asked you this question. Your answer was pretty interesting. Like, so how do you monetize a Facebook group? Why should I put all this effort in? How do I make money from it?
One, it's such a good indoctrination sequence. Like I always say, if you're in front of people all the time, they're eventually going to buy something from you. And so whatever that is. And so for us, we do launches on specific things. So a lot of times we don't have like we're working on this right now, but not like something you can buy anytime, like a program or something. We do like a launch for a program. So if we use the Facebook group to really ramp that up, we're like, hey, we're doing a huge announcement. You want to be on the Facebook Live if you want to know what it is. And we like ramp this up for like 2 weeks or something. And then we are like, we do the Facebook Live. We have so many people on and we get so many people who buy like right there. So like we do that for the live event tickets. We did that for, maybe if you have a podcast launching, you can get so many people to, jump on and be like, oh my gosh, you have a podcast launching. I'm going to go subscribe, rate, and review for you. So like instantly you have all these people that you've been giving to, you've been serving, you've been commenting on their stuff. And maybe, like I said, if you're super busy, like you can't do this, but you can have an assistant do it for you and, just kind of give her the scripts of what you usually say. And if she knows your voice, then she can comment or he can comment as you. So, for like the monetizing of everything, I think that we do like really good launches. You give, and then you, as like Gary Vee always says, you like do the ask finally. And so that's kind of like what we've always done. And that's how we've built a really successful business is we do that. We give, and then we promote something at the end, which like the book and stuff, like we did that. So it's just like really good to like have that community that's like already engaged, already pumped, and they want to go and buy from you.
That's a great way of looking at it. So another word we use to really relate to that is omnipresence, right? So like you said, they'll say, Nicholas, you're all over the place. You're all over my Facebook, you're everywhere. You're staying in front of someone and it's always value, 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 value. And then all of a sudden you show up and you're like, hey, I'm doing something. And you're asking them for something in return and they're rushing to give back. Really powerful stuff. Amanda, I just want to ask you one final question before then we figure out how people can engage with you and your company and with Nicholas. If you had to give one ninja marketing technique or trick other than Facebook groups that has really helped your business organically grow to such great heights, one ninja technique other than Facebook groups, what would you say it is?
I would say something that I don't know if most people would say, relationship capital. That is a ninja technique that most people don't utilize because they're like, what's the ROI in it? But everything that we have built in our business is all built on relationships, and our whole company and everything that's got us to where we're at today has been giving to relationships. Go into every single relationship asking what you can give to that person, not what you can take from that person. That's how we've landed meetings with Jay Abraham and free mentorship by him and all of these amazing people and landing on these stages because we're not in it for like, oh, I'm going to get on that stage. Like, I'm going to go up to that person and I'm going to be like, hey, I want to speak on your stage. It's like, no, if we want to eventually speak on their stage, we're going to invest with them. We're going to give to that relationship. We're going to do everything in our power to serve that person. And maybe one day they'll ask us to speak. Like, if you want anything in life, and I just think that relationships are the most important thing that we can have because no one can take those away from you.
Yeah, no, it's super powerful. I love it. Well, Amanda, I'm sure a lot of our listeners now, probably, hopefully, only the men want to learn more. And so where can they go? You've got a great book. Your husband's written a great book that I'm going to pick a copy up. Can you show it to us real quick and tell us more about it and where they can go to get it?
It's called The Modern Day Businessman.
So The Modern Day Businessman.
And we've actually had a lot of ladies buy it as well. So you can pick it up. It's a great book.
And give it to your husbands or your boyfriends.
Yeah, it's just
that's awesome. Sorry, where can they get it? What was the URL?
You can get it on Amazon, or you can go to The Modern Day Businessman if you want to get a signed copy. But it's on Amazon, Kindle, hardback. And it's all about how to have success without sacrifice. And that's kind of what we preach is how can you have success in your business without sacrificing your personal life, without, losing your health, losing your relationships? How can you really create a life that you want?
That's amazing. So listen, everybody, head over to Amazon, grab a copy of The Modern Day Businessman. It sounds like an epic book, and I definitely would want to read it. And ladies, you grab one too, read it, and give it to your loved ones. Your father, your brother, your husband, all of them. Just like this book should be read. And I've read a lot of amazing things about it. Actually, once, Amanda, you and I connected on Facebook, obviously I started seeing more and more of your posts, and then I started seeing more and more posts from people that were tagging you, and there was a lot of people that were saying really nice things about the book. Where else? You can go to Facebook and grab and get become a member of the group, Billion Dollar Brotherhood, and then also their podcast is Billion Dollar Body Podcast, and the company's name is Billion Dollar Body. Any website that people can go to learn more about your products and services?
Yeah, you can go to billiondolarbody.com, and then if you want to connect with me, like I said, I don't do this stuff a lot anymore. So I'm free. Message me on Instagram at Amanda Barely if you have questions or, how you like the show. I'd love to hear from you guys.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're going to put all of this on our show notes. So go to Anik Podcast, ANIKpodcast.com. We'll put her Instagram tag. We'll put all the URLs for all the things that are dropped. We'll put a URL directly to the book. I think you should buy it directly from the website because it's a signed copy and it's just cooler that way. So grab that. And that way they actually have your contact information because Amazon does not share that. So you won't be able to connect with them as much if you buy it from Amazon. But grab it from their website and remember, everyone, go to anikpodcast.com. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know what I want you to do. Amanda took time away from her life, her family, her business to be here to teach you. There's nothing in it for her other than just getting a great word out to you and inspiring you and teaching you. So what do you get to do? If you're watching on YouTube, you get to leave her an amazing comment right now. Leave her a comment. She'll read them. She might even respond to them. And maybe we can get Nicholas down there in the comments as well to respond because he's kind of like the celebrity of this episode. And I feel like I need to see Nicholas.
I know, right? He's not a morning person.
Yeah, seriously. Is he around? Can he pop in from the corner of the screen just to wave at everybody?
I think Nicholas, where are you? I think he's in his pajamas.
Nicholas! Yeah, well, so everyone, leave a positive comment on YouTube. Let's have a talk about this episode. Ask questions, we'll answer them. Of course, hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon, hit the thumbs up icon on YouTube. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you know what to do. Come on, leave us a favorable review, a 5-star review, please, on iTunes. Let's get this message out to more fighting entrepreneurs. Let's spread Learn Nation, and that gives us the ability to bring more and more amazing guests like Amanda on. So go do what you guys need to do. AnikPodcast.com is where you grab all the show notes. Amanda, thank you so much. It was such an awesome episode. I learned so much. I'm going to hand this episode to a few of my team members. And seriously, it was an entire $500 to $1,000 course, if not more, right here in an hour from the person who actually does it and innovated the entire the strategy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anik, and thank you everyone for listening. Definitely keep tuning in to Anik's podcast. It's absolutely amazing. I know I am as well.
Thank you very much, Amanda, and thank you for listening. As I always say, go out there and fight for your dreams, entrepreneurs. And when life pushes you, stand straight, smile, and push it the heck back. This is Anik Singhal. I will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singhal.